Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of my Give Me Glow palettes. I have 7 here to go over, so I'm going to let you know what's at the bottom and which ones are my ultimate favorites. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri and I'm just a crazy lover of all things beauty. And I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot of indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. All right, my little spring babes, are you guys having good weather? Because I'm having fantastic weather here today. It is nice and breezy and sunny and springy. There's like wildflowers everywhere. Now we've been having a lot of crazy thunderstorms, but today is gorgeous and it's just energizing me and making me so happy. But I do want to get into all of my Give Me Glow palettes. I really love all of them. None of them are bad. So if something is at the bottom, it's just because my other ones are more favorites of mine. But I really do like the formula from Give Me Glow. Their mattes and stuff are super pigmented. They have nice creamy foiled metallics, and overall I've enjoyed all of these palettes. But for ranking's sake, some have to be on the bottom, some have to be on the top. Now before we get into this ranking, if you're curious about this eye look, yes, I did film it. This is with the new Wildflower collection from Cosmeitics. That video should already be up, so I'll link it below. I'll put it up in the corner if you want to see how I did this look. But I think we should now get into the ranking. So at the bottom, which I said, these palettes aren't bad. Quality overall is pretty consistent with all the palettes. It's just more of like the color stories and color options is why things get ranked in certain places. So at the bottom is the Haunted Pumpkin palette. I love this one. It is cute. It is leaning a little bit more neutral, and there's a lot of oranges, which it's a pumpkin palette, so I'm not surprised if there's a bunch of oranges in here. But oranges are not something I typically gravitate towards. So I don't like reach for this as often as I would other palettes. And then it has some like brownie tones, which I don't wear brown shades very often either. I'm more into like the greeny, sagey shades that are in here, like this little blue. But overall, quality is nice, super pigmented. I mean, like these have so much color to them. And the metallics in here are really nice and smooth. Also, the thing with this palette is there's not really any shades that can truly be an inner corner highlight, and I like to have a mix of tones in my palettes, like darker shades, mid-tones, as well as lighter shades. So I don't feel like I can do a complete look with this palette. I usually have to reach for other palettes, and I feel like that's kind of a reoccurring theme in a lot of Give Me Glow palettes. They're usually more on the darker mid-tone side, but still really beautiful. Such a cute little release, and I think all of these palettes are still available. I mean, I'll link them all below as long as they're still there. Then the next palette, which I'm surprised it's pretty low, but it's because this is like a one-trick pony. I can only do one kind of look with this palette, and that is the Give Me Glow Juicy Olive palette, but it is a olive palette. Very olive, so no matter what I do, I'll have a look that looks the same. I do wish maybe they added a little variety, maybe added a little bit of brown or something so you can mix it up, because no matter what you do, it's going to be an olive look, which I know it's an olive palette, so it limits what I can do. So I have to be in the mood for an olive palette, or if I have a look that needs an olive shade. Like that's the only time I'll really reach for this. And yet again, there's not a light shade to add an inner corner highlight. I wish they had one light green olivey shade, something to just pop the inner corner, or like a really bright gold, just something. Just overall, I feel like these two metallics are pretty similar, even though this one's a little lighter. And then even these two mattes are pretty similar. And so you kind of have shades that look the same on the eyes. That's the only thing. But I love olive shades. Olive green is my favorite type of green. So I still adore this palette. It's just a one-trick pony. And then we have the next palette, which is the Give Me Glow Christmas Morning palette. Stunning packaging, gives me all the Christmassy vibes. The only problem is I only want to use this during Christmas time, even though, I mean, you can use this palette whenever, but I just like pull it out like Christmas time. Like that's when I want to use it. But here are the shades. Now I like this because it has variety, and it also has a shade that you can kind of use as inner corner highlight. It's a silvery shade. I don't think it would be light enough if you have a very fair skin tone, but I like that you have some red, you got some greens, you got some like brownie tones, so you can mix it up. I love the theme. It's so pretty and gorgeous. And the formula is just nice. But there's just ones that I love more than this. It leans a little, you know, on the muted side. And I like a lot of bam in your face color depth. I like the rainbow. That's basically what I normally like to wear on my eyes. But it is still a gorgeous, cute little Christmassy palette. That's the only problem with Christmas themed palettes is it makes you feel like you can only use it during that season. I don't know if you guys have that problem, but I have to get out of that mentality and use it all year round so I can get more use out of it. So then the next palette in the ranking, which is the Vivid Rose palette. It's a very berry palette, very specific color story, pinks and purples. And I like wearing these colors, but not as much as I like wearing greens and blues. So I don't think I reach for this one as much as I would with a palette that had blues and greens in it. But I do really love the color story in here. It does lean more mid-tone. You can kind of pull this one off as an inner corner highlight, or this one if you're like my skin tone and deeper. But if you're like really fair, you probably couldn't use those as true inner corner highlights. Now what I really love the most about this palette is that a lot of these mattes I can use as blushes. Now they're very pigmented, so you have to go in with a light hand, or you can get really bright intense cheeks very quick, so you have to go very lightly and diffuse them on the cheeks. But they make beautiful blushes, and this is the one time where I like a palette to have bigger pans because I use them as a blush on the cheeks. Even like this one could be like a glowy blush, but overall, I have to be in the berry pinky mood to pull this, but I love it. It's so romantic and pretty and gorgeous. Now the next palette, which speaks to my deeper vampy side of me, which is the Bad Witch Club palette. This is a all jewel tone palette, and I just love the options. It has my blues, it has my greens, it has some berries, it has a lot of depth in here, and I can kind of pull this off as an inner corner highlight, and I can actually pull these three off as blushes as well. I like to have my palettes be multi-use. If I can find a way to use them in a different way, I will. You know, eyeshadows don't only have to go on your eyes. You can use them in other ways, but I just love jewel tones. I think those are the kind of colors that I really gravitate towards, and I like that it's on the colorful side, and I have so many options to work with in here. So this is a really beautiful one, and that's why it's pretty much like close to the top. I mean, what is this, number 3? So this is a really nice one, and I love the theme. So number 2 in the ranking, which I'm surprised this is higher up than the Bad Witch Club palette, but I use this one a lot more than that one, and that's why I ranked it higher. And it's one of my favorite pastel palettes in my collection, which is the Pastel Dream palette. I reach for this so often. When I want a fun pastel inner corner highlight, I will use either the mattes or the metallics in here, and it just gives a fun, bright pop. Now with pastels, you do want to use like a lighter base, like a white base, to really get them to pop. That's just the nature of pastels, but I get so much use out of this. Or if I need like a light shimmer shade to put on the lid against other mattes that I'm using, I'll reach for this. I just can't believe how often I want to go into this palette, and the colors are so fun. It's a fun little rainbow color story as well. So if I want something yellow or pink or peach or purple or blue, I have options in here to go with. And that is why it's number 2 in the ranking. I just adore this, and I use it quite a bit. It's so pretty, especially right now in the springtime. I can't get enough of pastel eye looks right now. Then number 1 on the ranking, which I'm surprised this is number 1, but it has a special place in my heart. I love the color story, and this is where I got introduced to the brand and made me want to keep trying more and more. This is the Vintage Rose palette. Like, just my ultimate favorite. I don't know if it's just the tones or the mix of shades in here that really appeals to me, but everything about it I love. I love that there's greens in here. I love these like rosy terracotta shades, and then these pinky shades right here. And this one actually has a inner corner highlight, so I can do completed looks with this, and I can do like a completely green, a completely rosy look. I can get really soft and just go in with this pink through the crease and this all over the lid if I want a more like lighter pastel look. Then I love using this pink shade as a blush. It's even called blush pink, and this kind of blush color is so in right now. So if you're looking for like a pinky bubblegum shade to use and you have this palette, definitely pop it on the cheeks. You just gotta go lightly, because like I said, their mattes are very pigmented, and you can also use this shade as a highlighter. So I love that their like shadows are very multi-use, but there's just something muted and romantic and pretty about this. And I just love like the types of looks that I've been able to create with this. And I don't know, this will, I think, always be my favorite from Give Me Glow. This is where the love started. So this is number 1 on the ranking of all of my Give Me Glow palettes. That was all my thoughts. I did include swatches so you guys could really see the color stories all swatched out. I feel like that's like a really good way to give you an idea about the color story. But all of these are really pretty. I love them. I think they're so good. And I really enjoy Give Me Glow and a lot of products from them, as well as like their lip products. So I'm very happy that I have all of these, and I will continue to buy more Give Me Glow palettes as they come out with more different color stories. But that was my thoughts on everything. You guys will have to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have ranked this differently? Like, what is your favorite Give Me Glow palette? If you have one, I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot of indie makeup, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the palettes linked. I'll have all of my Give Me Glow like review videos that I've done if you want to see more on any of these palettes. I will also have my makeup linked in case you're curious on what's on my face and my eyes. Like I said, I did film this, so that video will be linked below, as well as my contact and my social media platforms. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, being amazing. I just love you guys so much. And I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world. And I'm just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.